Welcome to the Yessy's Designs Knitting Podcast, episode 18. I hope that you guys are having a very good start of your fall. It's a beautiful fall day today here in Connecticut. Everything is looking golden colors, bright yellows, some oranges. The weather has been absolutely beautiful. And one of the highlights of this week and my whole life in general is that finally, we could get to see the northern lights. That's something that I have never thought that I was gonna be able to see unless I traveled to the areas where you can clearly see them. So it was quite something to have been able to see them here in Connecticut this week. Throughout the video, I'm gonna be sharing the lights. Maybe now that I'm talking about them, maybe at the end, let's see. But I hope that you guys love the pictures. I share them on my Instagram and I made them permanent in my feed because it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I was absolutely speechless, in awe, cried. What a beautiful display of God's creation. If you are new to my channel, I welcome you here. My name is Yessy. I am the maker and the designer behind Yessy's Designs. You can follow me here on or subscribe to my YouTube channel here. You can also go to my Instagram, is Yessy's Designs, and all the places where I am at, they are linked in the description below. I welcome you to my channel. I am sharing usually here things that have happened that I would love to share with you in my life in general. I also share my whips. I share with you maybe new pattern releases, maybe some things that I'm gonna be doing that are new for me. I share everything that I can about my knitting in here. If you have been here before, I welcome you and I hope that all of you enjoy this episode. Today, I would like to share with you the plans that I have for Rhinebeck. I'm going to share with you my Rhinebeck sweater. I'm going to share what I have made already for my daughter. She also chose a Rhinebeck sweater that I'm working on. It's my only project on my needles right now. I'm gonna share with you some of my blanket progress that I think I have made a few squares this month, but I am completely focused on Rhinebeck right now. So why don't we start with the blankets, and then I am gonna share with you a couple more things, and then it's everything that is Rhinebeck related. If you haven't been here before, I have all my yarns, my partial skeins of worsted weight yarn and fingery weight to make my Cozy Memories blanket. Every now and then I mix the names. So it's the Cozy Memories blanket. You can find that pattern on Ravelry. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern that I started working on January, thinking that I was gonna have it ready by December, but I know for sure that that is not gonna happen. I'm still working on it. I just started, let me show you as I talk. I just started row number 5 on my blanket. You can see the last day of the month, usually that's when I share my blanket progress on my Instagram, TikTok threads, and then I show you what I have done in the month. I usually mark on the square that I worked on last, like the last time I showed you, and then when I start working on the new squares, that's how I know how many I have done for the month. So this is how it is looking. So the pattern recommends, there you can do it worsted, you can do it fingering weight. And I think any weight you would like to work it on. But in the pattern, there is something that I know that says, if you're choosing to work on fingering and you have maybe some worsted, you can mix the two. It's gonna be, not worsted, it's fingering and DK. Sorry, I went blank for a second. If you use fingering and worsted, there's gonna be a huge difference. So fingering and DK. So that's what I'm doing on this one because I didn't have enough DK weight partial skeins to make a whole blanket or fingering weight for that matter. So I'm mixing the two. So you can tell some of the difference. Maybe the like this blue one, for example, is DK, and the two on top are fingering. So you can see that the blue one might be it might be slightly bigger, but I mean, it works absolutely perfect. So the only thing that you see there is like a different in textures, but it looks absolutely, absolutely beautiful. So I am loving working on this Cozy Memories blanket. I mean, no, you have heard me, if you have been here for a while, you have heard me talking about it, and I have big plans for it. I really hope that um, that at the end, when I'm done with everything, which is gonna be a king size blanket. So my friend who knows how to sew, and she's gonna put some cotton in the back, maybe some flannel in there, and I have to make a decision about the kind of border that I would like. I would love it to be maybe a crochet border, or maybe some kind of lace design all around the blanket. That's gonna be huge. I know, a lot of work, but I really would love this to be, how do you call it, like an heirloom, like I can pass this on to my kids, or at least one of them. But I'm looking forward to work on this blanket every single time that it's on my needles. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to something that just started for fall. I just had my first fall market. It was at a vineyard. I'm gonna show you some pictures as I talk about it. It was my first outdoor market, so that was very exciting. Lots of work for sure. It just requires so much more than when you are being a vendor at an inside at a place, like inside of the place. So my whole family went to help me to set up the tent. We learned how to do that, a whole setup inside the tent, and we tried to make it as cozy as possible. I was going for a fall Hallmark movie kind of look. So I'm in the pictures you're gonna see I put some leaves on my display. I put some like flowers that are like oranges and some kind of fall colors on my table, and it was just beautiful. I love the whole look of the tent, and to me it felt very inviting. I was happy every time the pieces were finding new homes. So now I have to make more for my next market, which is the first week of November. That's gonna be indoors, and then I have another one on December. I think it's the first week of December. It's also indoors. So I have to make. And it was a beautiful experience. It was so organized. I had wonderful neighbors, and I met most of the vendors. We were not that many actually, but I met them, most of them, and they were lovely. We just love to be part of this event at a vineyard, which is like an hour and 45 minutes from my home. It's called the Brinahl Vineyards. If you're in the area, we highly recommend it. We didn't have the wine, next time maybe, but we had the food that they had available in the food trucks. Now, the building inside is absolutely stunning. It's really like being in a movie. They have, so many food to offer for people just to grab it and go outside, or they have a couple places in the building that you can also enjoy. They have a charcuterie area, they have some snacks in another area. Everybody was having a great time. There was so many people there. So we have to go another time for the first time just to enjoy the place without, being part of the market. So I hope to go again. I hope they consider me to be part of another event. They were holding their harvest festival, and they did an amazing job in there. They had things for children. They had the first day they had puppies that you could adopt. The 2 days they had alpacas, which were beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that's also, this event happened, was it last weekend? At least a week ago. There's so many things happening that I'm losing track of everything that is going on. Okay, so now I am gonna talk just about Rhinebeck. So before you continue watching, I hope that you have your tea, your coffee, something that you can enjoy as I talk. And let me know in the comments if you are planning to go to Rhinebeck. Let me know if you have been there before, if you would love to attend Rhinebeck. and what has been your experience in case you have been there. What is the thing that you recommend people? Like if you go to Rhinebeck, you absolutely have to do this or you have to do that. Let me know here in the comments. So Rhinebeck is held on a Saturday and a Sunday, right? On Friday, the Friday before, I am gonna be going with friends to different events. So last year, with my daughter, we went to Mount Kisco to pick up every stitch. It's a beautiful yarn store, and we made quite a few knitters and crocheters, makers, podcasters, you name it. It was a beautiful event called the Road to Rhinebeck. So we are gonna go there again this coming Friday, and it's going to be, let me see, we are gonna be going in the morning. So I hope to see you. Let me know if you're gonna be there. We're gonna be at Mount Kisco at Pick Up Every Stitch at some point in the morning. So it's gonna be about an hour from my home. It's not really too far and it's worth it. So Karen and Felicia are the owners of Pick Up Every Stitch, and they did such a beautiful job last year with their event, and we loved it so much that we decided to go again. Now that afternoon, my daughter and our friends, we are gonna go to Cake Palooza. I forgot the name of the ticket because I purchased tickets to go with my daughter from, I believe it was from 2 to 4. And then my friends decided to come, so we are gonna go later at 4 o'clock, and we are looking forward to it. So it's the first time that our friends are gonna be going to Rhinebeck or this event, so we are looking forward to enjoy this event that Alisa from Cake Wool Co. is hosting. I have been at Cake Palooza twice already before, and it is really, really lovely. It's a beautiful, beautiful event. Great, great dyers are there. And I know that Alisa is preparing quite a few surprises for us. So you can go to Cake Palooza on Instagram. You can also go to Cake Wool Co. and see what Alisa is sharing there from the event. So Alisa is a wonderful, very talented yarn dyer. That's a mouthful. I have worked with some of her yarn, and all of them have been lovely. And she puts her heart into hosting this event. She loves hosting this event, and we love to support it. So let me know if you're gonna go to Cake Palooza, and we are gonna go there. So I think that's gonna be enough for that Friday. And I know it's gonna take a while to then get back home. We're gonna be with our friends and then be ready for the next day. I'm one of those makers that like to be that Saturday of Rhinebeck. I want to be bright and early because of everything, because of parking, because I don't want to miss out, because we like to enjoy the whole day. So usually this day, it's girls' day for my daughter and I. We go for breakfast. We make the whole day special. We eat at Rhinebeck, and then we go for dinner somewhere after Rhinebeck. So it's a whole day just for the two of us, and my boys, they do something different that day. So this is the first year that we are going to be attending with friends, and we are looking forward to this new experience. We are so excited to go and show them around. We have been going to Rhinebeck for, I think since maybe 2016, 17, something like that. We have been going for quite some time, and we love every single time. So if you're not familiar with Rhinebeck, Rhinebeck it's the New York Fiber and Wool Festival that is hosted in Rhinebeck, New York. So that's the way we call it. We just say we're gonna go to Rhinebeck, meaning that we're gonna go to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And the organizers of this event, I think every single time that I have been there, I have had a great experience. It's a big place in the Duchess Fairgrounds. You have access to buildings where there are vendors in there. They have a museum. They have a lot of food available. They have outdoor spaces in big tents where you can meet the designers. You can meet hand dyers. There are, people vending their, what they make. It might be yarn, it might be bags, accessories, you name it. Everything that any maker of fiber arts needs, it's there. So we walk a lot. We also rest a lot. There are a lot of places where you can just sit down and relax and take a moment, rest. We do a lot of that. And that is one of the reasons why I like to go early. It's because very quickly the buildings are filled with so many excited makers. So it can be very hard to see exactly what people is offering. It can be hard to see the yarns because there is so many people around you, and you might feel at some point that, I looked at it and it's so beautiful, but there is no way I am going to get there. So by getting there early, and by now I know kind of where the things that I like are. I know where I would like to go first. I know that there is going to be a time where we can meet the authors. So we take some time before we go to the authors. We know, for example, when is the time that we can meet at a certain place in the grounds to meet the designers. So if there is a designer that you love, that you know that is going to Rhinebeck, that you would love to meet, then you have to go obviously to their Instagram page, maybe subscribe to their newsletters, and they're gonna let you know what, I'm gonna be on Rhinebeck this Saturday or Sunday. I'm gonna do a meetup on the hill at 2 o'clock or at 1 o'clock or whenever they decide to do a meetup. And then I have everything like written down so I don't miss out. So there is always some people that I look forward to meet. Last year, I met a couple of my friends. I met Cynthia from Bespoke by Cynthia. I met Gail from, I'm going to put her handle in here because I don't know how to say her handle. I know it's going to come out so wrong. Nia, I'm not even gonna try because I cannot say it. But I met Gail, and it was very lovely. And there are some other makers that I just love to see, and I love to give them a hug and see them, like Gigi. I always like to see Gigi, and she's just wonderful. Her smile can brighten up the whole grounds at Rhinebeck, and it's always lovely just to see her, just to get a hug. It's a real hug that you get from Gigi. It's just so wonderful to see her daughter, and just to catch up a little bit, and it's just something that we love. We can go to certain events that they have with the llamas or the alpacas. They also have like a fashion show. They have some wine tastings. I mean, there is so much happening the whole day. So usually, again, we arrive early, so we are there at 9. I try to be there between 8:30 and 8:45, and once you start, there is no end. And we don't leave late. We leave kind of early, like by 3, 4 o'clock, we are kind of done. Um, because it's a lot of walking. So again, there are places where you can sit down and everything. But last year, for example, that was not a great option because it was raining. It was a little cold. We were holding umbrellas. So imagine, I don't know how many people was last year. I think it was over like 3,000 from what I heard. So many of us were holding umbrellas. At least my daughter and I, we each had our own umbrella. We had the coats, we had the bags and everything. So that's the other thing. If you're going to Rhinebeck, try to bring a big bag where you can put everything instead of holding every single little bag from all the places where you're going to be buying, because it can be at some point quite tiring. So we bring a big bag where we put our purchases. And last year, again, it was hard to sit down and rest because everything was wet. The only time I think we got to sit down was when we were going to have lunch. And I remember quite vividly because we were just, at this point, we were like, we need to sit. We need to sit somewhere and we don't want to be wet. So they have this kind of, I don't know exactly how you call it. It's like a building, but it's like, it doesn't have walls. It's so late today. I usually record very early, but life has been very, very busy. So you have to excuse my lack of English at this time of the day. But it's the place where we have lunch. So it's like a building, it has a roof, but it doesn't have walls. It has a bunch of tables, but everything was packed. So looking and looking, the two spaces there were two spaces available at some point, so I sent my daughter, go get it, go get it. And we ended up sitting with the lovely girls from Do You Knit, and it was quite something because they were helping me. I don't think they remember this, but they helped to keep my daughter. She had to stay there for a little bit while I went to get the food for us, so they kept her company, and yeah, it was very nice talking to them for a little bit. So this year we are supposed to have bright skies. It's gonna be in the like 68 one day and 70 the other day. So hopefully it stays like that because that way we don't need to wear a coat. It's not gonna be that cold, I think, for us. So we can show our sweaters, right? Which is gonna take me now to showing you the sweaters because I was kind of forgetting. Okay, so this is my sweater. I don't remember when I started making this sweater. I have to go back on my Instagram and see when I started showing this to you because I started showing you the sweater at the same time that I was making it. It's not something that I made months ago and okay, let me start showing it now since we are getting closer to Rhinebeck. No, I started showing it to you when I started making it. So I finished it. I just have to weave in the end. So I'm gonna do that after I block it. But this is the look of it. In my previous episode, I talked to you about it. I wanted a longer body. I wanted longer sleeves. I don't like cropped sweaters or cropped nothing. So I purchased extra yarn for the main color so I could make my sweater longer. And I love it. It fits quite beautiful, unblocked. I am sure that once it's blocked, it's going to feel much, much better. And it's gonna look so much better. I cannot wait to see that, and I have to do that most likely tomorrow because it needs a few days for these to be all dry. So I'm gonna be wearing this beautiful sweater. This is Finley by Olga Putano Designs. I got it from her book that she released last year, like around Rhinebeck time. So I purchased the book. She signed it, and this is the sweater that I decided to make for me. So my daughter, she also chose her sweater. She was in between a couple designs, but then when she saw my sweater all finished, then she wanted the same sweater. So let me show you. Oh, before I show you, the yarns. The yarns, the contrasting color is Amano Yarns, and the main color is three leading fibermen. I think that's the name of it. I purchased the two yarns at my local yarn store, Stars Hollow Yarns, and it's lovely. I knew I wanted something earthy, like earth tones, and so I chose this color before I chose the contrasting one, and I absolutely loved it. I was in between a couple pieces. I didn't know, I mean, like what to wear with my sweater. I knew I didn't want jeans, like blue jeans, and I live in blue jeans. I'm wearing blue jeans, I live in blue jeans, and I didn't want to wear blue jeans for the sweater. I wanted a more like earthy kind of look. So I purchased two pants, like corduroy. One is like this coral, and the other one is green. That green, it's a little bit on this colorway. It's a little bit in there somewhere. So when you put the two things together, it really looks good. Um, and I loved it. I would have worn the one that is coral, but it doesn't close. I got it in my size, but it might be a smaller size. So I didn't have time to lose a little bit of weight. So the other one it is, but I loved it too. I really do love how the two things look together. So I'm looking forward to put the whole look um, together. Now my daughter, she went in a total different direction. So you're gonna see that even though it's the same pattern, it looks absolutely different. So she chose this blue. The main color, which is the blue, it's also Amano Yarns, And the white is Garthenor. So look at this. You can see the Fair Isle design more clearly on her sweater than on mine. And I love it. I absolutely and absolutely love it. So as you can tell, today I'm recording this is October the 12th, and I just have to finish this because there is no way I'm gonna send my daughter without sleeves. I did that last year. I couldn't finish on time, and she just didn't care because it was raining, it was cold, so she had to wear a sweater. Nobody could tell that the sleeves were missing, but we are not gonna let that happen this year because the weather is supposed to be super lovely. So I don't think we are gonna need a coat, and it doesn't show that it's gonna rain. Hopefully, it's not gonna change. But look at this, it's so pretty. So this is the only project that I have on my needles right now, and I'm taking my bag with her sweater everywhere. I am multitasking like you have no idea. I'm making big meals, so I don't have to cook like the main meal every day. So, for example, I'm making a big pot of lentil soup. So for lunch, I just have to add, and they know, I mean, my kids know that once the big pot comes out, that means that whatever I'm cooking, they are gonna have to be eating that for a few days. So I just have to make some meat one day or chicken another day, like to add something to it. But the thing that takes the most to cook, it's already made. So, and now my mother is here. My mother arrived yesterday. Uh, Let me see. She arrived yesterday. So we have done so much already since she arrived, and I'm exhausted. But it's been wonderful. I mean, we are so happy that she's here, and I know that she's gonna be helping me at least with the meals and with something so I can continue working on this beautiful sweater because again, there is no way I'm not sending my daughter without sleeves. So if you happen to see us and you recognize me or you recognize the sweaters because you watch the podcast, make sure to say something to her because she can really tell that her mother is just spending hours and hours working on her sweater. She's loving it like you have no idea. Every time, when she wakes up, if I'm awake working on it or before she goes to bed, and I said, okay, I see you in the morning and we say our prayer and all of that. She knows that I'm going to be working on her sweater for another bit. So every day when she wakes up, there is more done to her sweater, and she just gasps like if she has not seen it before. She just says, I love it, Mom. I love it. I love it so much. So this, not tomorrow, but maybe Monday, Tuesday, we're going to choose some pants for her to wear. She has a pretty good idea of what she wants to wear. And well, I'm going to tell you, she wants white pants, and she has two pairs of white pants, but it looks like she grew. So they don't fit her anymore. So we are going to be on the lookout for white pants, and let's see if maybe she changes her mind as to what color. Now I have to show her the color wheel so she can see what other color she can get that would look great with these blue and this white. So you let me know in the comments what color you think it will look amazingly cute with this, and I'll share your opinions with her. So this is it. I thought it was gonna be way shorter of an episode, but I am so glad to sit here and to record for you and to show you everything that is happening so far. And in the last weeks, it's been just Rhinebeck sweaters. And as soon as I am done with this, I have pieces to work on for markets, and there is at least one knitting pattern, a new one for you guys that I have to make a decision on. I have to work on it, and I'm excited about that. So that's all for today. Let me know in the comments everything that I asked you before. Let me know if you're going. Let me know what is your project that you're working on. Let me know anything. I look forward to read them. If you like this episode, please consider subscribing. It helps me, it helps my channel to continue to grow. Leave me a comment. And I have so many surprises for you in future episodes. We are already, my son and I, making plans for episodes for 2025, and we are incredibly excited to try new things here on this channel, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. So I'm going to leave you for now. I'm going to see you again either in Rhinebeck, Pick Up Every Stitch, Cake Palooza, or on episode 19. Happy making!